Okay, what I did so far is I unscrewed the screws out of the bottom here, everywhere, and there's a hole except right there and there. I pulled this out. This had to be slidden down, and then this was covering all over the whole thing, so I just kind of pried it up with the flathead screwdriver. This was sitting in there. I slid that up. Before that, I slid this up in case I didn't catch that. These are actually individual units, so this is connected to here. So this is a unit, that's a unit. So the ones straggling over here and this one are the ones the wires are connected to. And so I'm just grabbing them one at a time and pulling up. So pull, like when this starts to come up, good, and then move on to this one, then move on to that one. Move on to whatever stays down, I just keep pulling. And I'm guessing there's paper on the bottom like this too that everybody's stuck to. Alright, so it all came out. I got the last little bit just by pulling with my hand. And the paper stayed behind, so that's what it looks like. And then this is just kind of like slinky. Alright, so wherever it's connected on top, the opposite is connected on the bottom. So you can see this little thing that's like taped on, or glued on here. It's glued on the bottoms of these, so it just kind of keeps slinking around. So it's actually a circle. And this would be one end, and this is the other. And then they both connect into this, which is the final piece, which is the piece that needs to be saved. I forgot to mention there was plastic tape going around, circling around the bottom of this, and this plastic piece was held on like that. So I took that off. That was one of the first things I did. Then the black one that's going to one end of the circle, it ends in this kind of connection, which has been soldered on there. So you can't just slide it off. And then on the other end of the circle, there was plastic tape around this white box, which I disconnected. So then what you end up with, part right here, separated from this. And this is the part that goes into this, which is what you need to keep. For curiosity's sake, this is what it looks like when you take the paper off. I cut the black wire, just cut it with some wire cutters. This is how it looks. These things just kind of slipped off, but pretty sure this is how it was. I'm hoping. And okay, so not important, but I just pulled the main battery out, and there's this thing that came out with it, which, oh, that's where it came out off of here. So now we've got the two on the sides. Okay, so I had to rip the metal thing off of that top battery because it's actually one of the contact points of this. I looked in the drill, and they're opposite, so there's a left and right, so apparently it's this middle one that we're not going to be needing use of. Alright, so I found this, which is a 12-volt converter, and so the one end plugs into the wall, and the other end is right here. So what I'm going to do is cut that thing off and then separate the two. So I have a black and a white coming out of this, and then I'm going to connect that to this. So what I did was I took the all metal one that was connecting straight to the battery. I took that metal plate off, so it was over here. I just took it off, and then I moved the one that was right here over, because we want the ones on the ends. And then we've got a black coming up that goes into this terminal, and then I'm going to disconnect this so that this whole white thing is going to go down to the wire. Alright, so that worked. So I used these wire cutters, found the end of this wire, which was all covered with white, and then I did a little soft squeezing around in the circle, and then grabbed lightly, not all the way through, and then pulled the plastic tip off. It looks like this, so it kind of slides off. It's hard, but I use my fingers for this one because it's so thin. It's pretty thin. It's a bunch of hairy, thin wires, and you want all of the wires to be. You don't want to cut any of the silver off. You only want to cut the plastic off. And then this did the same thing. This one's thicker. It's still plastic, silver, fine threads of wire that you want to keep. So those were the two ends on the ends of these terminals. Then on the wire that's going to connect to the power, it was right like this, and I cut using this is the power outlet. See how you can see there's two wires, they're just connected. So you can pull them apart. And then I'm going to strip them just the same so that only the metal is showing. Cool. Splice the wires. Start with the black one. This one looks like it's black and gray, or black and white, or whatever, so I'm going to assume that's for the white. And this one's solid black, so I'm going to assume it's for the black, because that supposedly is always hot. So you take it and see. The copper one is a little thinner, so it's going to be easy to wrap around. You just want them to contact all the way. And then once you get that done, you're going to wrap it with electrical tape. I'm going to wrap it with electrical tape so that nothing is showing. None of the metal is exposed. I'm going to try and keep that contact, get metal on metal contact in that metal on metal area too, and not let it run over into the plastic part. And there you go. So that's that one. See, this is getting all splayed out, so you can just kind of twist it a little. You don't want to break any of the threads though. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. And again, the copper is bending easier. So I'm just twisting them around each other, but I'm trying to make the ends end while it's still in that metal region, not in the plastic region. I remember that from somewhere. Just wind it around. And then we have the wire connected to these contact points, which are going in here. So it sits like this. I remember that the black was on this side. So it slides on, and then the wire just kind of goes in the crevice. Same thing with this. It just slides on. This one was a little more weird. It was like poking out. I think I bent it when I was ripping it off, which I did with these. I just grabbed the tip and pulled it off the battery. I don't know if there's supposed to be a ground. I'm assuming that's what the third one would be for, but I'm just gonna assume no for now. So this is all connected, and the black wire is going off to the side here, and the white one is sliding into the middle. And we're just gonna slide this up, so the empty slot is going on this middle terminal. So I'm just gonna slide it and push it in with my finger, and it's a pretty snug fit. So then I'm just gonna kind of bend these wires up in here a little bit and put some tape on it. And then before I do that, I'm gonna leave the side pieces off so that the wire has somewhere to go. So I'm just gonna make sure that goes over to the side there. just to make it kind of snug, I'm gonna try and fasten it securely to this. So I'm gonna do that right there. I'm just gonna screw the screws in and then fire it up and see what happens. I'm just gonna see if it works even. So there's a lot of unknown factors in this little experiment. I didn't even, whatever. No. Oh my god! Holy shit, that's awesome. Okay. So I pulled it all apart again, and basically what I did was I secured these really tight with electrical tape. I started around the black one, and then I wound it around and went down to the white one. So I don't want to touch any of the metal, but that's one thing I did. Prop it in there like a battery, maybe. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this battery, wrap electrical tape around it real good. So most everything is like along this edge. So I'm going to kind of push it in along. Ooh, that tape made it really thick. Well, whatever. It's going in there. Damn it. I think it's in there pretty good. The other thing is that I need to slide at least one of these on so that something clips to hold it into the thing. Yeah. And it's the same idea. You just push the edge of the metal in. It's in. So then I'm going to screw it in. That's good. So mother load. This is supposed to run on 18 volts, and this transformer is 12. So adapter, whatever. That's kind of wimpy, but still pretty fucking awesome. I hope the drill works. I took the drill apart. I don't know if it's gonna work because when I put it back together again, I was not paying attention very well. Well, I didn't do so bad of a job. I remembered it being worse for some reason. This is fucking awesome. Okay.